Hello everybody, welcome to another Rick's Picks. Today I'm going to be doing my review of Boom, the G.I. Joe classified figure Blowtorch. Now I've been liking a lot of these G.I. Joe classified figures. I never had the original Blowtorch, so I'm kind of curious to see what they actually do with this figure. So without any further ado, roll that intro. Okay, so here he is in packaging. So you have your standard classified packaging. So you got G.I. Joe here, his name. You got a window where you can see the figure, all his accessories, the Joe Star, G.I. Joe Classified, your choking hazards, age restriction, and Hasbro. Come around here. Get this cool picture. I actually like this picture. That looks really neat with him with the blowtorch. I do like that a lot. G.I. Joe and his number. Come around here. You get this cool picture of him standing there. Now, this is the second packaging here where you get the bridge layer. There was one other one, I think it was the All Striker, where you had the bridge layer in the background, and this one you have it as well, which I find pretty interesting, seeing how I know at this point Hasbro is talking about not doing any kind of tanks, but yet this shows up twice in the picture. So things that make you go, All right, you get a couple of pictures here of some of his, finer details, and you get your legal underneath. Come around to this side here, get the other side of the window, his stats, and your QR code. All right. On top, you got the Joe Star and his number, and underneath you got more legal in the SKU. So, with all that being said, let's open him up and see what he's about. All right, so here he is out of packaging. Now, the first thing we're going to do with him is we're going to go through his points of articulation. So, the head does move. All right. You get a shoulder joint with a swivel, an elbow joint, and you do get a wrist joint. All right, get this other arm up. You have a swivel at the hips. You do got some back and forth movement as well underneath the ribs. So all that moves pretty well. You got a thigh joint with a swivel. All right, you got a knee joint. No, you don't have any kind of swivel here. Usually they have a swivel about there. And an ankle joint. So everything seems to move pretty well on this guy. I don't have any issues with any of his joints. So now let's start taking a look at his finer details. So first off, you got the head sculpt. Head sculpt looks nice. I do like the head sculpt. All right, he's pretty much your standard Joe style head sculpt. All right, look at this side. And then back around to here. All right. Now you get down into his armor. His armor looks pretty cool. I know a lot of people had a complaint with this guy because the original barbecue was a lot brighter yellow instead of this darker yellow. But I feel like this darker yellow works with him. I like all these little plugs here. I think that looks pretty cool. I do like that. And this little piece here on his chest. Come around to this side here. You got a spot for his pistol. All right. Come around here. Now, let's look at his outfit under here. So this definitely looks like a firefighter's outfit. The way how the yellow is designed and the bulkiness to this. So I do like that. That definitely is a very firefighter vibe to it. All right, come to his back here. And you come around to this side. You can see more of these plugs on his arms. All right. So, overall, he's a pretty cool looking character. Now, the funny thing, and this is because I'm old, I look at these plugs on him, and you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of the Centurions. How they have like all the little spots to where you could hook all the armor pieces on. That's what these look like to me. I know that's not what they're meant to be, but that's like my first impression when I look at this guy. Like I think of all the plugs that the Centurions had on him. But overall, I don't think he's a bad looking character. I'm going to take a look at his accessories. So first off, he comes with a pistol. I'm not very impressed with his pistol because to be honest with you, it just looks like a green piece of plastic. Doesn't really look like a gun. It also doesn't have a hole for any kind of blast effects. But like, it's not very impressive to me. It just looks like a green piece of plastic. All right. Next up is his face mask. I do like how that looks. I like the color setup in it. And I like the factor that it has clear goggles on it. So that's pretty cool. I do like that. Okay. Next up is his helmet. Now his helmet is your standard Joe helmet. I think what's his name? Breaker has the same style helmet, so there's nothing unique about this. It's just pretty standard, just yellow and black. All right. Next you got the pack. All right. Now this pack, I hate to say it, the yellow looks very painted on. It doesn't look like it's naturally like that. It looks like it's been painted on, especially when you look up at the top. You can see the discrepancies in the paint at the top. And also around here, you can see, painting issues around this black piece as well. So it doesn't look natural. It doesn't look like it was meant to be this. It just looks like somebody painted yellow on this. So I'm not very impressed with how this looks. Plus, that yellow doesn't match the rest of the figure. It's a brighter yellow opposed to everything else being a darker yellow. So now you got his flamethrower here. And I have the same issue with this that I had with the pistol. It looks like, green plastic. It doesn't feel like, a weapon. Just the way how it's colored. It just looks like green plastic. I mean, yeah, they gave like the blast guard here and that silver look, but I think it would look nicer if like the tanks were like different colors and stuff. So there's a lot of things they could have did with this to really make it pop, but it just doesn't really work. Like, I don't know, the silver against the green really doesn't work for me. All right. Next up, you have the hose for it. All right. And then you have your fire effects. All right. So you have the smoldering flame. All right. You have your stream of fire. All right. And then you have your more of a, I guess that'd be like a burst of flames type look. If I remember right, all three of these flame effects are basically the same thing that Torch came with as well. So, these are all reused materials. So now we're going to see how well all this works with them. So let's start getting his gear on him. Let's do the face mask first. All right. Oops. Well, that pulled out of there. Oh, there goes that. All right. Got the face mask on. Now I'm going to have to take a pause so I can find that hose that just went flying. All right. Found the hose. So the hose is back. So let's put this back on him. All right. And this plugs into here. All right. All right. So that's the face mask right there with the hose. I don't have any problems with that. That looks pretty cool. Now let's get the helmet on him. All right. The helmet did exactly what I was afraid it was going to do. it pushes the mask down. All right. So now that's kind of down there like that. Kind of pisses me off. All right. So, so now that's creates a slight problem. Is that the helmet pushes the mask piece down, so now it's stuck behind his head because it's that tight. Well, let's see how that works. Oh, you know what? Get my little screwdriver here and bring it up. All right. So that mask, the helmet pushed this bar underneath the joint, so it got stuck under there. All right. So now I had to use a screwdriver to pull it back up again. So let's see if we can find a way to get this helmet on here without pushing that down. There we go. All right. So that's something to be concerned about. Not concerned of, but be aware of. When you're putting the helmet on, just be careful that you don't push the strap for the mask down. Otherwise, it'll be a little bit of a bugger to get it back in place. But there he is with the helmet. Give that a rotation. All right. I do like the way how the helmet looks on him. That looks really, really cool. I like that a lot. Definitely has that, classic barbecue look to it. So now let's spin him around. And let's get his backpack gear on him. All right. Maybe. All right. So this ain't lining up quite right. There it goes. All right. So I got that on there. You got your hose. All right. So all that's on. Now, before I actually, you know what? Put the pistol in this hand. All right. So there we go. He has his pistol. No issues. And now for the flamethrower. All right. So let's get this flamethrower on him. I think it's going to be more of an issue trying to get this finger in there. All right. So that finger doesn't quite line up. Come on, get it. All right, there we go. All right, got the finger in there. The hose connects at the top here. All right, looks like this pack wants to come off. Now the hose wants to come off. Now the gun wants to come off. All right. So there he is. He has the flamethrower and his pistol. Okay. Let's get into all the blast effects. So you got your small effect here. All right. So that works in the front. No issues with that one. All right. You have this one here. That works as well. No issues. And last but not least, your stream effect. All right. So the stream effect works just as well. No issues with that. So all the different flame effects work well with him. And now let's get this arm up. Take this pistol. Put it where it belongs. All right, now let's get this out of his hand. Let's take this off. So it has a spot on the back here that looks like your flamethrower should sit in there. All right. Now, I think that's actually, if I remember right, this pack looks very almost like how the what you make jiggy guys look, the Techno Viper back. I think the Techno Vipers had a piece in the back so you could hook it on. So you can have that hooked on there like that if you wanted to. So if you want him to store on his back while he's doing other things, you can. It's not really that good looking. I mean, it works, but you know, at least you can have a spot to store that. So other than that, everything seems to fit pretty well on this figure. All right, so let's get into my final thoughts with him. So first off, all his joints move very well. I didn't have any issues with the joints. Now, I was actually a little surprised that he doesn't have a swivel down here. Most of your classified figures have some sort of swivel here at the top of the boot, but I guess it just didn't work well with this particular figure. All his accessories fit pretty well with him. I didn't have any real issues except for the helmet with the mask. So you just want to be a little bit careful when you put that helmet on over that straps. Otherwise, I'll push the strap all the way down. Excuse me, all the way down. And then it's a bugger trying to get that strap back up. But other than that, everything fits very well with him. And he isn't a bad looking figure. I like the overall look to him. So would I recommend this figure? Yes, I would. I think he's really cool looking. I like the overall look to him. Now, he does have his flaws, like his pistol and his flamethrower. I wish they gave him a little bit more detail. It just looks more like colored plastic than an actual weapon. So I would have liked to see like maybe some detail on like these canisters and stuff. Just something to make it look a little bit more unique and powerful. And also the backpack here, this yellow looks very painted on. It doesn't feel like it fits the rest of the character. You know, it doesn't look like it's meant to be that yellow. It's just paint. So I didn't like that. And it's just too bright of a yellow and it just doesn't match. So those are the flaws. But even with the flaws, he's still an overall cool looking character. And I think he would look great with the rest of your Joes and what have you. So with that being said, the first thing I want to do is give my shout outs. And the first person I want to give a shout out to is Byron Bassett and his alter ego, Humongous. He does a lot of things to help out the channel. He also does a lot of promotion for us, so that's really appreciated. So go ahead and check out his YouTube channel. And every Sunday he has a show that he does as well. Also, check out Action Figure Geeks. They're a Reddit channel that I'm part of, and they also support the channel. And I want to thank everybody who watched this video all the way through. You're very much appreciated. The same with everybody who subscribes. I appreciate all of you. So I'd also like you to check out my G.I. Joe playlist and my membership program. Plus, hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So until the next one, late.